Good afternoon, everyone, and you're very welcome to day 4 of CITA's sponsored demo week. We are delighted to have everyone here presenting this week. We've got 10 sponsors in total. We have 8 platinum sponsors and 2 gold sponsors, and without their support, the BIM gathering wouldn't be taking place. So it's the 5th BIM gathering taking place this year, and it's the first time it's taking place virtually. So just for anybody who hasn't registered so far, we do have group ticket offerings for anybody who would like to avail of that. There's an option there if you're buying 3 tickets for the price of 2 and 5 tickets for the price of 3. You can purchase the tickets online on our website, citabimgathering.ie. You can also, if you don't want to pay for the PayPal fees, you can contact Samantha Whitley directly on swhitley@cita.ie, and Sam will issue you with an invoice. So this is just showing you a lineup of, we've already had 3 days already this week where we've had Diatech, Procore, Autodesk and RIB. Today we've got Revizto and Colin Construction. So we have Rhys Lewis is going to be up first, and then we're going to have Stephen Foley, and then we'll do a short Q&A at the end. So Rhys Lewis is the director of EMEA. His talk title is Collaboration Where You're Comfortable. And Stephen Foley, who is the head of the bid department, he's going to be talking all about Colin Construction and their journey to date. So I hope you get to enjoy this presentation, and we do have one more tomorrow taking place at lunchtime, and then the gathering is commencing Tuesday week, the 21st of September. So I'll hand over now to Rhys. Thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. Rhys here from Revizto. Thanks for joining us today. So I'm one of the directors at Revizto and really pleased and excited to yet again be a platinum sponsor to the CITA BIM gathering. Today we're going to be talking about collaboration, but collaboration when you're comfortable. And I am pleased to be joined by my colleague, our technical lead, Lewis Guy. Hey, Lewis, how are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you, Rhys.
Perfect. So I suppose let's get to it. Today we really want to jump straight into the application and showcase to you how lots of other organizations within the AECO space are using Revizto as a coordination and a collaboration platform, or as we like to refer to Revizto in a few words, an integrated collaboration platform. So what I'll do here is I'll just jump out from the slide deck and into the application itself. What I plan to do is show you around some of the basic collaboration functions, and then my colleague Lewis will run through some of the more in-depth functions and features that's going to be of interest to you all today. So first things first, here's the Revizto application that's on my desktop, and we are also available on a variety of devices. So tablets of all sorts, everything you're seeing now we can take into VR, we can monitor all of the progress of issues or activities through a project via a web browser. 2 things that really stick out for me is interoperability and usability. Revizto really is that central hub to bring together a wide range of different file formats into an environment that you're comfortable in. So for me, it's important that we're able to bring together lots of different types of information, because that's what our clients are telling us. On a certain project, they may have architects using Revit files, or Revit rather, and the engineers using Tekla or Civil 3D, IFC. We may have some point clouds if this is a project where we have some existing conditions that we need to take into account. And you can see here on the left-hand side, as I open up my object tree, the variety of different file formats that I have in here. So Lewis kindly created this project for me. So thankfully, I'm not going to have to jump into any of those technical tools today because I'm not comfortable using them. But using the gaming controls in Revizto, I can really, really quickly and easily start to navigate through this pretty large set of models here in no time at all. So it's about giving access to information that's not readily or usually available to everyone on a project in a rather unique way. So we can start to navigate through here. Let's come back home, take measurements, cut sections. There's a variety of things that we can do here whilst we're in the project itself. So I'm going to take a section through this particular face, I can do that. I can jump down into this area and take a measurement should I want to. Let's just grab the ruler icon here, and that will open up my measuring tool. There's a variety of options. Actually, we'll just use the laser here. And there's a number of reasons that I may want to do that. And in this 3D space, if I just hover over any object, you'll start to see that the metadata that's come through as part of the export is now available for me. If I double click, it'll give me all of the information about that particular object here. So I can really understand what it is that I'm looking at, and then I can start to filter and search in a variety of different ways, now using the data, which is new to Revizto. If you saw our presentation last year, we could see this data, but we couldn't do anything with it. Lewis will touch on that in a little bit more than I will. So we've got this space where we can look at all of this 3D information collectively. What I want to do as well is just touch on the top here. If we take a look across the top, we're in 3D. We've got all of our 2D documentation as well. So here's a drawing with a live view of issues on this drawing sheet, color-coded by their status. So we've got drawing reviews on here. We've got clashes that have come through, questions from the client. All of these activities are now compiled into one place. This, our issue tracker, or as I like to refer to this as, a single source of communication, a golden thread, that digital audit trail that so many of our clients previously were spending a long time trying to bring all of that information together, that's traditionally kept in project folders, various emails, PDF reports, BCF files, a wide variety that are not connected. Revizto really is the tool that can bring all of the project team together into one place so we can really understand what's going on, or more importantly, what's not going on. So as I start to move down the issue tracker here, you can see there's a wide variety of varying issues here. This is me trying to be creative, but you can see they're all tracked, logged. We can see who the issues are assigned to, what they are, where they are, and all of this information is linked back to the authoring tool. So that's just a top, very quick top overview of the application itself. What I want to do now is start creating some issues. So what we'll do, we'll come back to 3D and we'll jump to, let's go to a room. So I'm going to select the room or the door icon there. Let's take a look in the plant room. So that's now going to take me directly to the center of that room. Again, using my gaming controls, I can start to navigate through into the center of that room. If I select the eye icon, again, it'll give me all of the metadata about that room as well, should I want to do anything with that. Now, I've been in this room a couple of times, and I know there are a couple of things that need to be resolved. I'm in I've got my BIM wings on, shall we say, today, so I'm in fly mode. What I want to do is just slow the navigation down a little bit. So I'm going to click on this walk in person, and you'll just see that slows things down quite a lot. I'm going to take my section tool, cut a section plane against this wall. There's clearly some, there's a problem here with this particular design. We need to move this pipe in. So what I'm going to do is create an issue. Again, if you watched the session last year, you may remember that we just introduced stamps, talking about collaboration where you're comfortable. What we really want to do is help organizations speak a common language when it comes to issue creation or activity tracking. And the stamps really help us uniform that approach. So they're predefined issues effectively. And again, there's been a variety set up here. So we're seeing stamps being used for BIM coordination, construction review, design review, in the operational phase as well now, site reporting for snagging and defects. So in design here, you can see we've got some predefined stamps for the different designers. I've got one here that's mechanical. So all I'm going to do is pick and place that stamp, and that now has been logged automatically in the issue tracker. So all of these fields here have been completed for me automatically. Just think about how you do this process today. If you are taking a screenshot, sending an email, marking things up and putting that into Excel, just think about how much time that's going to save your project delivery team. And it's a single click for whatever type of issue that we want to create. So there's no confusion now if we're creating issues in a 2D space, in a 3D space, on my tablet or my desktop, the approach of creating, tracking and managing issues is the same for all. So we're all comfortable with how this should be done and that we're doing it in the correct way. Now, all of these fields here as well are being reported on, and I'll touch on that shortly. I just want to explain a little bit more about the issue itself here, first of all. So our issue tracker is based on the project's coordinate system, which means a lot. If I click on 3D here, the pen icon firstly is showing me the issue at the point of time that it was created. If I click on 3D, it'll show me where that issue is in the federated 3D view. Something that's very, very powerful in Revizto, what this now does is it's showing me what drawings, I should say, are affected by that issue that I've created in a 3D space. In Revit, Tekla, ArchiCAD, or Revizto, it doesn't matter. All of these drawings now, I'm getting much more information about what that issue is. This we're finding for a lot of our clients is helping connect project teams closer together, because some are more comfortable working in 2D, some are more comfortable working in 3D. This bridges that gap. So we've logged our first issue, and that's come in here. What I'll actually do now is this one is assigned to Sasha, our MEP lead, but I'll just assign this to Lewis for the purpose of today's presentation. So what happens now, Lewis will hear a ping, he'll be sent an email, and within the issue itself, we can start to communicate. So I can say, hey, Lewis, please review this. Click send, and that's now been logged here in the chat log effectively. So Lewis can come online here and do a number of different things. He can chat back, as he's done here. So, okay, on it now. He can then change the status to in progress. What he can't do is mark the issue as closed. That's my job. So I'm going to review when he's marked that issue as solved, and then come in and actually close that out or not. And then in here, we can add a variety of file types. So if we're out on site, what I'll do actually on my tablet, as I've got this in front of me. So the application is exactly the same on your mobile device. As we're on this topic, I'll just take a picture of the door now, which is my home office. Just to add a little context to what we're saying here, I'm out on site with my tablet, connected via my phone, actually. And important to mention, we don't need an internet connection for that to work. Everything will sync when we have an internet connection restored. So one thing I like to refer to is, connectivity shouldn't affect productivity. Revizto allows you to work out, give access to your field team, give them access to models and drawings, and still continue to work, regardless if they have a connection or not. They just need to sync that project before they head out. So that could be a variety of different types of issues, but you can see it's been logged, assigned to Lewis. We've got a real-time communication feed, and we can attach a wide variety of different file formats here, pictures, supporting documentation, and so on and so forth. Now, if I had this particular project open in Revit or Navisworks, then I'd be able to switch back to that view, which Lewis can show in a little bit. I just want to create a few more issues because we don't have too much time today. So that's the process. I'll pull up our dashboard in report as well so that you can see that. So I click on my reporting icon. This will open up my web browser. Again, on my phone, if I want to. I can create a wide variety of reports into Excel, PDF. I really like these dashboards that give us a really insightful overview instantly about how the project team is performing. And all of these charts are customizable. So I'm looking at structural, which one is that? Structural clash, issues in 2D, who's creating them and the status of them, and so on and so forth. All of this is absolutely customizable to work in a way that suits you. So now let's jump back to the 2D. And if I just come to the top here and select one of these, I don't know, let's go to one of these sections. I quite like looking at the sections. This is a great way to show this feature where we can overlay the drawings on the model. So these drawings may have come in from ArchiCAD, and we've got some Revit models, as you've seen in the background. These links work here, so we can jump around sheet by sheet. But what I really like is the ability to do this. So these green icons have appeared on this sheet automatically. I'm just going to click on that green icon, and that now has overlaid that section detail in place for me automatically. So talking about being comfortable, a lot of people that we speak to are more comfortable in 2D or 3D. This again helps bridge that gap. So we can, there's two things for me. Really helps with communicating what that detail is and if it's going to work, but really assists in coordination where you do have different consultants using different tools to do their job, which is fine, right? And Revizto really helps to tighten up that coordination process, and we can understand the buildability of this particular project by being able to do this. And again, if we position a stamp on this drawing sheet, let's come back down. We can see all of the issues on this sheet, including clashes here, which is great. I can come in, pull up one of my stamps. Let's go with an architectural one. Maybe there's something up with the roof in this particular instance. I can come in and we've got a variety of markup tools. So I can just grab my pen here. Ooh, not that one. Let's undo that. And let's go with this, what I wanted. Click done. And again, that's been logged to Ash in this case, but we'll assign that to Lewis. So I can really start to speed up this process now. So as I'm jumping around, that's been logged in exactly the same way as the other issue was logged. Something that I also quite like, especially for site teams, is we've got this jump to 3D. So if I pick and click, that will take me directly to that space in 3D. Let's come up here and position down a few more stamps. So maybe I want to select this object, that object, and that object. And pull out a stamp again. My mechanical stamps are in my recently used. Pick and place, and that's been logged in exactly the same way. So no matter where you are, in what system, if it's, again, 2D, 3D, Revit, Revizto, Tekla, ArchiCAD, MicroStation, the issue creation process is exactly the same way. The stamps just make our lives a little bit easier, which would be nice, right? By saving, it's all about gaining efficiencies and saving time. The stamps is a great way to allow us to do that, and everything is monitored and tracked in real time in Revizto, so the team can be confident and comfortable things are moving at a pace that we're all happy with. And everything I've created today, 3 issues you can see have been logged here with all of the other activities or tasks from the whole project. Before I hand across to Lewis, I just want to touch on this particular example. So you can see I've got 4,000 issues in here. Our issue tracker can be used almost like your Google search bar, but I've got some preset views here. So there's 4,000 issues in here. I just want to show you these few examples that are good example use cases of how clients are using Revizto. That's reduced the list to 6. But if I just go down the list here, you can see somebody's used an observation stamp out on site and taken a 360 image. Maybe this is for as-built verification or just a survey. Somebody spotted something out on site that's been installed that wasn't modeled. Let's get things updated. We've got clashes that have come in from Celebri and or Navisworks. Now this is great because for me, I'm used to seeing these types of clashes in PDF format. We can start to really understand what and where that clash is. We can change the view. What I really love is we can now see where that clash is in 2D. And I know some of our contractor clients that we work with can now go through their projects level by level in 2D, reviewing only clashes. And then this is another great example where we've captured full history of that particular issue. So we've always got an audit trail of this. This can't get deleted. We can see that the client there wanted these beams to be removed for the glass balustrade. So we can set up an export scheduler that's pushing information into Revizto at a time that suits you. This has been marked as solved by Lewis. So for me to view the most up-to-date information, I can click on 3D or 2D, and that will show me the latest version of the model. We can see now actually that balustrade's been updated. Fantastic, so I can come in here and close that out. I'm going to stop there now and hand over to Lewis to talk to you a bit more around the data, what we can do with that, and a little bit more some of the things that I've not been able to touch on. So if I stop sharing my screen. And at that point, Lewis, I'll hand over to you.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you.
So Rhys was sort of alluding to the collaboration that we can do through issues that we're raising and how we can communicate with each other. But collaboration doesn't just have to be that. It can also be the way in which we can help people who are not necessarily as proficient in these sort of applications. What we've seen in the last year, especially since Revizto 5 came out, we've got a lot more sort of non-technical people getting involved in Revizto. So we've always had design managers, construction managers, those sorts of people using Revizto and gaining the benefits from the issue tracker, as Rhys was kind of was showing. But we've seen a lot more uses now with people like the QSs on the project, people who are tracking changes and they're trying to work out, what's the total length of pipes, what's the total volume of concrete. And these guys and girls may not be the most sort of proficient at creating the information, but Revizto allows anybody in the project to go in here and set this up. So, for example, I've got my find objects here. I can add some conditions, so we can say property condition. I can search for the data that I'm looking for, so I can say system classification, for example, and we can say cold and hot water. That's perfect. I can add some more rules in here if I want to. So I can use this to get rid of some objects. They're going to give me kind of a false count. So I'm going to say does not equal, and I'm going to type in insulation here so that we can get rid of the pipe insulation. And I'm going to add just one more in here that just shows me which file it comes from, just so that I can be specific. So we can just say this is from the MEP model. So I can now find all. I can see that it's selected 2,490 components, and there they are now kind of isolated. This can be saved as a search set. So we can just say cold and hot water. And I can say okay, and that now creates that search set for me. I'm technical, I can do this with great ease, it doesn't really take me any effort, but if we want to make this available to other users now, what we can do is we can just take this into one of our folders. I'm going to drag this into my MEP folder, and this MEP folder has been shared, so everybody on the project now has access to this information. And this is really good because, as I said, the QSs on the project, they can now just open Revizto. And they can just go to the search sets. They can just select the search set that they're looking for. And then they can see it listed off now in like a list format. So we can see every kind of instance. We've got 2,490 here. And I can now export this out to Excel. We can just call this cold and hot water. And I can save that. That's already created it. And now we can open that in Excel. And now, again, the QSs can now use this information. They've got the total length of the cold and hot water pipes. They understand what the insulation around it is. They've got all that information, and it's really easy for them to extract it out and just use it. Whereas previously, they would have to come and ask someone, maybe from the BIM team or someone they know who is kind of experienced in getting this information out of the application. Whereas now it's literally 5 clicks for them to do it themselves, and they can update this whenever they want. So it's really good that we can give it to the technical people to create and then share it with the whole team, and then they can use it for whatever purpose they want. We also have a similar thing here when it comes to viewing the models. So we can create appearance templates. And again, the technical people on the team can do this in a way that makes sense. So I can fly through the model, and it might be that we want to kind of understand what the MEP systems are doing on this project. So I can just activate my MEP system view that I've created here. And what this does is it automatically updates the colors. So it's made everything else white, and it's made the MEP systems sort of colorful, as you can see here. And then we've got all the colors down the left-hand side. So again, what this is doing is it's just making it really easy for people who are either still kind of new to the 3D environments and still familiarizing themselves with how to do this, or just people that want a better understanding and just be able to visually see exactly what something is. Because again, what this allows us to do is just look, and we can see this green color here. So I know that from the green color here, that it's an exhaust air duct. So it's just making this information instantly accessible to people. And again, this is collaboration, but not sort of direct collaboration. It's just allowing sort of people that are proficient in this to create things and share it with the wider team and make this available. Another good example for this one, we can switch to design and fabrication models. So when we've got kind of a fabrication model that's been shared with us and we've got the design model, just by doing color coding, all we've done here is sort of set one view to be solid green and one to be transparent red. And you can instantly see this. And what this allows you to do is to visually kind of review. So here I can see an issue where we've got kind of beams out of alignment. And then straight away, what we do is we can then go to our stamp tool, exactly as Rhys showed us before. I've got my structural steel one. I can click and place it. And now we're collaborating in the issue tracker through a view that's been set up by other people on the team. So Revizto 5 is really allowing you to do a lot more of this kind of cross-discipline working, allowing people on the project to create views, create settings, create the way that you're going to use the project, and then anyone on the project can take advantage of those, and it's going to save everyone an awful lot of time. And then straight away you can go straight into the issue tracker, communicate it with the right people, and then get back into your model, fix it. Everything is just done a lot quicker than it would have been done previously. So yeah, just a very quick overview on some of the new features in Revizto 5. It's going to kind of save you an awful lot of time. So
great, thanks, Lewis. And it's always difficult to show you absolutely everything in a short amount of time, but hopefully that's given you a flavour around how Revizto can really help aid in the communication, coordination, and collaboration process in your projects, regardless of what stage you're at. You know, talking about some of the things I mentioned at the beginning, that interoperability, but the big thing and the topic today is that usability, or being comfortable with collaboration. I'm really passionate and believe Revizto can help any organization, any project of any size to become more efficient at the way that they deliver their project. Buildings, infrastructure, you know, we've seen a wide use case we've not been able to touch on today, the point clouds, the infrastructure examples, but you can get a lot more information on that by getting in touch with us directly, or just go into our website. So one thing to mention is that tickets are still available for the bin gathering, which is 21st to the 23rd. And one of my team, Ash Curzon, will be talking about this topic in a bit more detail on day 2 at 12:30. So with that in mind, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you do have any questions, Lewis and I would love to hear them. Have a great show. And again, Revizto's really, really happy and proud to be a platinum sponsor. Take care.
That's great, Rhys and Lewis. Thank you very much for that great presentation from Revizto. And if anyone does have any questions, you can fire them on to ourselves here at admin@cita.ie. We'd be more than happy to pass them on to Rhys and Lewis. And obviously, Ash will also be presenting at the gathering the week after next.